Ako kasi may bias ako kasi kay former Secretary Bunuan eh. Kasi may masama ako experience sa kanya eh.
Ay.
Hindi dapat talaga masama yan. Yung unang-una, talagang isa rin yan sa mga most guilty eh. Kaya
Former Secretary Manuel Bunoan to be a state witness.
Kaya ginawang state witness si Secretary Bonoan dahil ituturo daw niya si dating Speaker Martin Romualdez.
The filing of criminal and administrative charges against the following: former Secretary Manuel Bonoan of the DPWH.
Nagpakita si Secretary Bonoan sa Blue Ribbon Committee hearing noong January. Dinanay niya na may kaalaman siya tungkol sa korupsyon sa DPWH. Ngunit ginagawa siyang state witness ngayon dahil umano'y nagpadala ng sulat ang kanyang abogado na willing na siya na magbigay ng karagdagang impormasyon.
well, alam mo, ako kasi may bias ako kasi kay former Secretary Bunuan eh. Kasi may masama ako experience sa kanya eh.
Ay.
Hindi dapat talaga masama yan. Yung unang-una, talagang isa rin yan sa mga most guilty. Kaya lang, siguro may rason din si Ombudsman Remullaz. Siguro may nakita siyang opportunity na talagang mas marami pang madadawit, mas marami pang lalabas. Kaya siguro naisip niya na gawin na lang siyang state witness kung sakasakali. No?
Nailahad na po
for-
ba ninyo, Mayor, yung inyong masamang karanasan?
Oo, yan, no. Kasi one time, ako personally, na pumunta sa opisina niya, siguro mga 4 months o 5 months pa lang siyang secretary. Pagpunta ko yung dala-dala ko yung ang kapal-kapal na folder. Binanggit ko sa kanya, ito yung mga perceived anomalous projects diyan sa Baguio City, pinigay ko sa kanya.
And then?
Ang 3 words lang ang sinagot niya sa akin eh. Sabi niya.
Ganun po. Ganun po. So, pagkatapos nun, wala na kayo narinig at wala na pong naging pag-usad sa pinapaimbestiga po ninyo.
Walang nangyari. Walang nangyari. Kaya nga talaga ako, na-frustrate ako eh. At no, istigan din namin siya sa ICI, para kami nakipag-usap sa janitor na wala siyang kalam-alam. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, billions were lost. Nung time ko na nagtanong sa kanya, Mr. Secretary, billions were lost. And you're telling us that you know nothing about it. Did you ever conduct an investigation? Sabi ko.
So, Mayor, given that, would you urge government or the executive not to push through with its plan na i-discharge at gawing state witness si Secretary Bonoan?
Well, hindi ko kasi alam. Mahirap kasi magsalita ng ganyan, Willard, na basta-basta sasabihin ko na lang. Kasi sa perspective ng ibang investigador, katulad ni Ombudsman Boying, baka may nakikita siyang opportunity. Kasi nga, alam mo, hanggang ngayon, konti pa lang ang nakukulong. Talagang konting-konti lang. Hindi pa yung talagang mga deeply involved dyan sa anomalya na yan eh.
Lalo na sa panig po ng Senado kasi medyo mas mahaba-haba ang naging investigasyon ng Senado ukol po dito. Ano pa ba po yung mga nananatiling mga katanungan, kumbaga nabitin kayo, ano pa bang mga question kaugnay dito po sa anomalya sa flood control ang dapat pang matutukan, maimbestigahan at nang lumabas po ang katotohanan?
Unang-una, pwede kong bigyan itong
Sige po.
sagot na hindi din matatanggi ng mga nasa administrasyon na nung nagpakita si Secretary Bonoan sa Blue Ribbon Committee hearing noong January, dinanay niya na may kaalaman siya tungkol sa korupsyon sa DPWH. Ngunit ginagawa siyang state witness ngayon dahil umano'y nagpadala ng sulat ang kanyang abogado na willing na siya na magbigay ng karagdagang impormasyon. That's good news, at least insofar as we will learn more about the corruption in DPWH. Pero sana hindi pagtatakpan kung anuman ang kaalaman ni Secretary Bonoan at mabuti kung isiwalat ang kanyang mga ibinahaging impormasyon sa public hearings ng Blue Ribbon o ng Kongreso.
Opo, kung tatanggapin nga at kung ito'y matutuloy na nga na magiging state witness po ang kalihim, ibig sabihin may mas mataas pa sa kanya na talagang mastermind po dito at hindi mas mababa po sa kanya? At marami po ba sila sa tingin nyo po, Congressman?
Exactly. And I think inamin ng Assistant Ombudsman kanina na kaya ginawang state witness si Secretary Bonoan dahil ituturo daw niya si dating Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ako po ay walang direct knowledge tungkol sa mga nangyaring umano'y anomalya sa flood control sa 19th Congress. Pero siguro kung bibigyan din ng pagkakataon ang ibang mga ituturo ni Secretary Bonoan, meron din silang iba pang mga ituturo. Kaya mabuti na tinatalakay ang mga isyung ito para sila-sila na lang ang magturuan at tayong mga mamamayan ay manood na lang.
Opo. Kung magandang gabi po, si Jade po ito. Yung pagiging state witness ni dating DPWH Secretary Bonoan, ito ho ba ay may kaugnayan rin po? Makakatulong rin ho ba ito doon sa mga, yung sinasabi po niyo, yung inilabas po nga Cabral Files, ito ba'y galing mismo doon sa DPWH sa ilalim po ng kanyang pamumuno?
Magandang tanong po yan. Nakasulat po sa Cabral Files na ang mga insertions ng mga kongresista at senador at iba pang mga opisyal ng gobyerno ay mga handwritten instructions galing kay Secretary Manny Bonoan. Nakakalungkot na hindi na maipaliwanag ni dating Undersecretary Cabral ang kanyang files, ngunit at least nandito si Secretary Bonoan para maipaliwanag ang kanyang files. Nabasa ko din na ang dahilan din na gagawing state witness si Secretary Bonoan ay essential ang kanyang testimonya para sa kaso laban sa mga dati at kasalukuyang senador. Ngunit masasabi ko base sa mga files, hindi lang naman iilan ang may mga instructions galing kay Secretary Bonoan. Karamihan ng mga kongresista at senador ay may mga proyekto na nakalink sa kanila sa files na ito. Hindi po ibig sabihin na may korupsyon basta nag-submit sila ng request. Pero ito po ay isang dapat maging basihan for further investigation. Kung nagkaroon ng transaksyon sa likod ng mga projects na in-insert sa budget na dumaan kay Secretary Bonoan at kay dating Undersecretary Cabral. At ang aking posisyon, kung gagamitin ang testimonya ni Secretary Bonoan para idawit kahit isang tao, dapat gagamitin ang kanyang testimonya para idawit lahat ng mga tao na nakapangalan sa Cabral Files na meron handwritten instructions mula sa kanya.
At hindi po niya maari pong i-deny yung Cabral Files na yan kung sakali man.
Well, to add an answer to your previous question kung ano pa ang mga hindi pa nakumpletong investigasyon ng mga dating pagdinig sa flood control, hindi pa isinapubliko ng DPWH ang mga files ni Yumaong Yusek Cabral. At maraming ang mga umaasa na isa sa publiko ko ang kopya na meron ako. Ngunit nakakalungkot na pag may inilalabas tayo, sinasabi naman nila fake news. At sa aking palagay, maganda na hikayatin ng taong bayan na isa publiko ng DPWH ito. Kung may buburahin, may iilan sa atin na may kopya nito na pwedeng magsabi na may binura. Ngunit ang mahalaga, dahil state witness to be si Secretary Bonoan at umano'y tuturo siya sa iilan, dapat hindi selective at dapat gamitin ang kanyang testimonya para magkaroon ng accountability na para sa lahat.
Opo. Yung Cabral Files ho ba, kung na-authenticate na ho ba ito?
Yun nga po ang hinihintayan natin noon pa. At sa totoo lang, inaasahan ko na dahil may ilang buwan nang nakalipas, magkakaroon ng update tungkol dito. Pero ayon sa mga public interviews, sinabi din ng ombudsman na ginagamit na nga ito para sa mga investigations nila, para sa mga dinawit na. Kaya ako ay actually nagre-react strongly pag nababasa ko ang mga balita tungkol sa mga kaso laban sa iilang mga dati o kasalukuyang senador, kasi napaka-hypocritical na pinalalabas natin na isa o dalawa na tao ay masama, ngunit ang mga listahang ito ay naglalaman ng mga pangalan ng 200-300 mga tao.
Opo. Kung sakali mang i-confirm ni DPWH Secretary Bunoan, yung Cabral files na po yan na kung sapat na ho ba yun? O sino ba dapat ang mag-authenticate para masabi nating talagang lehitimo po itong mga files na ito?
Actually, sa January 2026 Blue Ribbon hearing, kinumpirma ni Secretary Bunoan na yung budget per district summary na napost ko sa Facebook ay talagang galing sa DPWH. At sinabi ko naman na nakita ko nga hawak ni Secretary Bunoan noon ang summary list of budget allocations na ito. At yun nga po yung point ko na kahit na kinumpirma na ng dating DPWH Secretary ang summary ng mga files na ito, pinalalabas pa na imbento lang na may mga iilan na nakatanggap ng up to 30 billion in 1 year, habang ang iba ay wala pang 1 billion para sa kanilang mga distrito. At kung wala namang anomalya sa mga budget allocations na ito, dapat isa publiko na lang magkano ang natatanggap ng bawat isa. Pero ang frustration ko kasi ay kung hindi madiin ang push ng taong bayan at kung hindi responsive sa isyung ito ang media, pwedeng i-sweep under the rug lang ang mga calls for transparency on the data of the DPWH. Kaya wina-welcome ko ang mga rallies ngayong araw na nananawagan ng transparency and accountability. Muli, sagot pa nga ng ibang mga opisyal ng gobyerno na nakikiisa sila sa panawagan for transparency and accountability. Kaya ako naisip na mag-file ng resolution para patunayan nila na suportado nila ang transparency and accountability. At kung ayaw nila na magkaroon ng hearing, magpatawag ng mga testigo, at mag-authenticate in public ng mga dokumento, ipaliwanag nila kung bakit sila tutol dito, kung sila ay pabor naman sa transparency and accountability.
Opo. Yung mga dating sundalo, yung sinasabi ng mga yung Brave 18, meron pang 14 pa at may napapabalita pang iba pa na possible na magsasalita ng mga dating sundalo. Sila ho ba ay maaring o kwalipikadong maging state witness din na kaugnay nga dito sa maanumalyang flood control projects?
Napakagandang punto niyan kasi sila nga ang walang alegasyon na sila ay nagnakaw. Tapos sila pa ang kinakasuhan. Habang ang iba, umaamin na sila ay nagnakaw pero dine-discharge pa ang kanilang mga kaso para maging state witness. At this is why I think more and more Filipinos are already no longer tolerating this level of hypocrisy. Kaya ang daming mga lumabas sa mga rallies kanina at sa aking palagay, mas dadami pa ang mga dadalo sa mga rallies sa mga susunod na mga araw dahil as you can see on your screen, mag-overnight ang karamihan ng mga nasa rally kanina at pati sa Liwasang Bonifacio, may mga kababayan ako galing sa Batangas na nandoon ngayon na magpapatuloy ng kanilang mga rallies hanggat magkakaroon ng breakthrough sa panawagan for transparency and accountability.
Good morning to all of you and good afternoon to all of you. Today, will be submitting our interim report and recommendation to the Office of the Ombudsman on the alleged current involvement of several DPWH officials and employees in obtaining bribes of unwarranted monetary benefits from flood control projects. We recommend the filing of criminal and administrative charges against the following: former Secretary Manuel Bonoan of the DPWH, former USEC Miss Maria Catalina Cabral, USEC for Planning and Public-Private Partnership, and former DPWH Secretary Mr. Roberto Bernardo, Undersecretary, as well as Mr. Henry C. Alcantara, District Engineer, Mr. Bryce Erickson T. Hernandez, Assistant District Engineer, Mr. Ernesto C. Galang, Chief Planning and Design, DPWH Bulacan 1st District. Number 4, JPD Mendoza, position Chief Construction Section. Number 5, John Michael E. Ramos, position Project Engineer. Number 6, Miss Irene D.C. Ontinco, position Engineer 1. Mr. Joshua Blitz S. Rojas, position Engineer 1. Mr. Bernardo P. Villaferte, position Engineer 1. And Mr. Ermir S. Villanueva, the owner of Top Notch Construction. I'd like to introduce to you our two detailed lawyers from the OSG, Attorney Richard Garbel Filasol and Attorney Ryan Patrick Tumagos. They are our new volunteers and detailed from the OSG. At this point, may I just say that our budget process is going on smoothly and it should be approved in the regular course of government business. We look forward to hiring more lawyers and more investigators. We expect a tremendous increase in our work efficiency and output. We feel aggrieved in what has been committed against the monies of the Filipino people. We condemn the white-collar criminality. We condemn the ninja style of manipulating the budget so as to please a few greedy few. We thank you for your message of support. We thank you for your patience. We will relentlessly continue the battle against corruption. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Ang involved dito ng mga law, Section 3, Republic Act 3019 or Anti-Graphic Corrupt Practices Act. Article 217 of the Revised Penal Code, Malversation of Public Funds or Property. Article 171 and 172 of the Revised Penal Code, falsification of documents, whether by public officials or private individuals. Presidential Decree 1759 penalizes contractors who violate any material provisions of contracts involving public works, projects of the government, and public officials who allow such violations. The Republic Act 9184 of Government Procurement Reform Act, and the Republic Act 6713 or Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. So yun po yung mga crimes involved na in these cases that were, these referrals that were given to us today. So, okay?
Question, pwede po ba?
Yes, yes.
Sir, ano na po yung magiging proseso po nito? Kasi I understand, Justice, sinabi niyo po kanina na this will be for evaluation. You're just recommending this to the Ombudsman. Ano po, sir, yung magiging action po ng Ombudsman?
We will go into fact-finding immediately because these are referrals and they may need more documents to be able to for us to be able to file cases for preliminary investigation. Because you have to inform the accused of their rights and you have to have the proper allegations drawn in to the mix. So it will undergo PI later on, but we will have fact-finding first to be able to complete whatever may be needed to make sure that we have the cases worth filing in court.
Justice, okay lang po ba, sir? Bakit po tayo, sir, nag-recommend ngayon for evaluation and investigation? Unlike po yung nauna po na diretso na po tayo sa PI sana.
So most of our language say for further fact finding or for further evaluation. It's just a matter of semantics, I think. That's all.
Justice, pang ilan na po to na pinail po ng ICI dito sa Office of the Ombudsman na simula po nung mag-umpisa po yung trabaho po ng ICI?
I think we have 3 referrals.
Yes.
3 occasions of referrals. But we'll be filing more and more in the next weeks and next month. We'll be filing more of these.
If you notice, the ICI is here, but the head of the task force of the DOJ, Yusek Andres, is also present because there's a parallel investigation going on with the task force that we created before the DOJ, which he heads, which Yusek Andres heads, which includes the NBI within their team to conduct fact-finding also and for filing for PI also if the people involved are of salaries grade below 27. But just the same, in their study, the studies being conducted by the DOJ, it appears that there are more people involved higher up the food chain. Meaning to say, cognizable probably by the Sandigan Bayan also. Yun ang mga nangyayari ngayon dito. And of course, you know that former Secretary Babe Singson came from the DPWH and he understands the language perfectly. That's why he was drawn into the picture of the ICI so that the technical knowledge will not be behind. There will be no more learning curve when it comes to the technical knowledge for public works projects. Pero,
Sir, for uniformity lang po and easier language, the recommendations and referrals, can we refer to them as complaints with the Ombudsman, sir?
yes, complaints. And so we just have to evaluate it, the documents, we have to evaluate them to see if there are lacking materials so that if we do preliminary investigation, the information that we pass on to the accused will be complete. It's hard to be building up a case where you're conducting an investigation.
To make the record straight, we cannot make any complaint, we cannot file a complaint under our mandate, we can only refer. So the complaint, the referrals, later on will be sworn to and subscribed to by DPW Secretary Pitts Dison, who will make it a complaint. Thank you.
Ombudsman, dun po sa unang naging dalawa na referral po ng ICI, ano na po yung status po ng unang dalawa na na-file?
Undergoing PI, no? Undergoing PI. Natanggap na ba yung mga summons natin, mga sabina? Natanggap na? Not all. Pero marami na tayong, may mga nagpa-file na ng counter affidavits. Yeah, so yun lang, ibubuin lang natin yun. We make sure that the rights are always respected. Yun naman, due process lagi ang ating sinusundan dito. We cannot rush the judgment. Kailangan due process mo.
Sir, kasi yung recent cases lang, recent precedent comes to mind yung PDAF cases. Tapos yung PDAF kasi sir, di ba, talagang ang accountable officer dun sa fund, yung congressman or senador. Kasi allocation mo yon in your position as member of the Senate and a member of the House of Representatives. Kaso lang, by experience din sir, covering the Sandigan Bayan also and alongside the Ombudsman, laging nagiging ruling, hindi nakakasuhan or naa-acquit yung member of the House and member of the Senate dun sa PDAF cases kasi yung actions daw nila recommendatory lang, usually ganon, recommendatory lang, walang directly, even though yung fund na yun ay allocation yun for their office. Sa flood control kasi, sir, wala na yung ganong wala na yung ganong premise eh. Hindi na talaga yung fund naka-allocate yun sa DPWH, hindi sa mga members of legislature. Parang, do you think mas mahirap i-prove yung liability nitong mga members of Congress, yung mga politiko sa flood control as compared dun sa PDAF na talagang office, allocation yun ng office mo eh, or not necessarily. Kasi itong fund nito, I understand, sa DPWH po ito nakalaga ka. Hindi dun sa office ng mga members of
Well, yung PITAF kasi, allocated yan to each congressman as a fund that they can use to fund different pet projects, supposedly. I remember, I was a congressman before. Ang concentration namin sa district ko was scholarships and medical assistance. No NGOs, nothing like that. Lahat scholarship, diretso sa PUP or Cavite State University at that time, or diretso sa medical assistance sa mga ospital. Ang nangyari kasi dyan sa PITAF cases, they brought it to the different NGOs which supposedly implemented the projects. How the Sandigan Bayan was able to appreciate the facts is beyond me, because I was not part of the trials. I haven't read the decisions except for 1 or 2 decisions. And we're going to, this is why we're calling the attention of, we called the attention already of Senior Associate Justice Leonen, so that we can have a dialogue to make sure that everybody's on the same page when it comes to treating cases. Di ba? Kasi nga, ang kalahati ng judicial system sa kanila eh. Di ba? Justice system natin. Hindi naman kami lang eh. Kasama ang korte. Kaya dapat, on the same page kami kung saan may nagagaling. Yun naman, I will not cast judgment on anybody. Sa akin lang, we just have to belong to the same page. We have to be on the same page when we start trying these cases. Di ba? Kasi ano yan eh. Pag the evidence we present here will be the same evidence they will appreciate. And the witnesses we will present in court will be the same witnesses that will be part of the decision. So that's just the dialogue just has to happen so that we're on the same page. I think that medyo klaro na yun, di ba?
Sir, mas mahirap ba i-prosecute now? Given na yung fund ay nasa DPWH?
Actually, may madaling i-prosecute dito, but actually, hindi pa mahirap po. Parang pareho lang eh, kasi yung PITAF cases are ghost projects din yan eh. They went to NGOs, supposedly with beneficiaries who were fake beneficiaries. Di ba? So nawala yung pera, where it went, it was never explained. Pwede mo mawala ang pera ng ganun-ganun lang kung walang kukuha. Yun lang naman ang tanong dito, di ba? And I think the narrations of the DPWH people, Henry Alcantara, Bryce Hernandez, are more or less complete and very vivid. We saw the pictures on the table, the money on the table. I think 300 billion yun na sa picture na yun, eh, no? Yung ba nawawala na lang ng parang bulayon para walang managot? Yun lang naman yun eh. I think that we just need a dialogue with them. So I think that on Thursday, Senior Associate Justice Leonen will be with the Sandigan Bayan, and we will be talking to them also. Both, maybe separately, Saj Leonen and the Sandigan Bayan Justices. Kakausapin din natin.
Sir, follow up lang po dun. Sir, gaano katibay na po yung mga ebidensyang iniihawak natin o hinahanap pa po natin? Kasi puro testimonial po, most of it. Nababack up naman po ba ito ng mga dokumento, iba pa pong evidence?
Alam nyo, AMLA is not always, will not always tell you the story. Kasi we're a cash economy. Diba? So, we will have to follow a cash trail somehow. And we intend to pursue that.
Ombudsman, considering po yung mga evidences and witnesses, kailan may timeline po kayo kung kailan talaga makakasuhan ng Ombudsman itong mga sangkot dito sa mga flood control projects sa Sandigan Bayan?
Anong stage tayo ng PI sa
So we're already receiving counter affidavit.
counter affidavit? We're already receiving the counter affidavits. So, let's say we receive the counter affidavits within this week. Next week, we can already have a resolution. teams, the panels in the PI can already have a resolution, and once the resolution is approved by the panel, it will go to my office, and then instruction for filing already. So hopefully, kung ngayon ay November 4, by November 11, baka meron na kami na file sa korte. Hopefully, pag nakapasok na yung mga counter affidavits and submitted for resolution. That's Jesse.
How about for the DOJ task force? The DOJ task
On the part of the Department of Justice and NBI Investigation Task Force, we have already filed 5 cases for preliminary investigation. And the first hearing date is on November 10. So we expect the counter affidavits to be submitted on that day, and most of them have been served already. So, in addition, the approach we're taking is not only with respect to the DPWH officials involved in the misuse of funds. The additional investigation we're doing, together with the help of many whistleblowers, named and unnamed, are the proponents and how they actually receive kickbacks. So this is how different this is from the PDAF, because we're not limiting our investigation to the misuse of funds, but those who benefited from this illegal use of funds. So the kickbacks aspect would point to proponents that could possibly be lawmakers, senators, and congressmen.
I think I had a discussion earlier with former Secretary Singson and Justice Reyes, and it's some of it can be attributed to gross inexcusable negligence, if I'm not mistaken. Being the Secretary of Public Works, it was his job to make sure that things happen properly. I think that's one of the recommendations, is really to charge them with gross inexcusable negligence. The same case that will be filing against, probably under study now, the Speaker of the House, former Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez.
Sir, can you elaborate yung kay Speaker Martin Romualdez? Ano na po yung proseso natin? Ano na po yung hawak natin kung meron man na ebidensya?
Hindi kasi when we look at the Saldico cases, and the whole pattern that happened, it was really Saldico working with some senators that came up with a final version of the budget. And the plan was laid out there. If fingers do not point to the Speaker, former Speaker, as the leader of the House, he was responsible for the appointment of Saldico. Although Saldico was elected on the floor, everybody knows that it was the Speaker's choice. That's why we have to hold him accountable for that. It's a novel theory. I know we're crossing the boundary of normal legal theory, but we have to stretch it a bit. Kasi nga, the whole government machinery and the Filipino people suffered damages due to the acts of Saldico. And if there's nothing criminal about it, then it's negligence at least. We have to go there. We have to go we have to tread that path already. That nothing is excusable here. At the least, negligence should be charged against those who were responsible for their offices. Ano yan leadership principle yan The buck stops with you.
Sir, meron ba tayong mga ipapatawag na mga tao na involved dun sa investigation naman po of yun nga po, Speaker Romualdez, Libby Zaldico, yung mga staff niya, paano po ba natin nakikita yun?
Well, we're trying to locate Gutesa if he's going to go back to testify, but we don't know yet. We're looking at all the narrations as a whole. All the narrations from the beginning of the Senate trials that led to these revelations. All of them will be used in putting up the theory of gross inexcusable negligence. Kasi nga, you're the leader of one house, and the other house is led by Senator Jesus Escudero as Senate President. And they were able to come up with a budget which included insertions, which included diversions of money from what was supposed to be to what became. So that is, if it's not criminal, then it must be negligence. It must be one of them. It cannot be completely, nobody can be completely blameless for that.
Sir, Senator Cheese Escudero, paano na po yung investigation sa kanya?
Ongoing, we have statements leading of a money trail leading to him, narrations of fact that are there already. But of course, we want to buttress it with other evidence, which we're looking to right now. Ano nga eh, pag wala ka makitang AMLA trail, then you have to follow a cash trail. And we will find it.
Sir, sundot na rin namin, Villar's naman po kasi the original subpoena of the House was intended for 4 firms. Pero as it turned out, wala doon yung firms na connected sa Villar. As it turned out, it's Motion Trade, not INE. So, kamusta po yung investigation on the Villar's?
Let's face it, no. There has been a lot of connivance. Congress, DPWH, even the agencies that were supposed to monitor the fund movements. So definitely there was total connivance, and the fact is that congressmen and senators are told by DPWH kung saan distrito sila pwedeng magbaba with SOP. Napakaliwanag nun. There are favorite district offices where they give very high SOPs, no? And maliwanag na yun sa findings ng ICI. So it's a matter of identifying people who were involved in the connivance that really brought this whole government machinery system total breakdown. The process to us, especially coming from DPWH, is already very clear. Without the role of DPWH officials, hindi mangyayari ito.
At sir, aabot yun hanggang sa mga sekretary.
Maabot na nga eh.
Kay Secretary Villar, sir.
Lahat. Wherever it leads. Because it did not start the last 2 years. It started way back. Started in tiny bits in 2018. Started to grow. When they perfected the system, it started in tremendous leaps and bounds.
Ano nga, sa Villar, we may be putting up a new task force for the River Drive and for the flood control of Las Piñas. Bacoor, Las Piñas area. Kasi, andun yung mga lupa na nag-benefit din eh. The